Okay, this lesson is going to be on grouping elements in Canva and the importance of it for keeping your designs organized and to keep your workflow efficient and moving as quickly as possible without making too many mistakes while you're designing. So if you look at this template here, it really consists of two main parts. You have these text message icons here, as well as this phone section. This mock-up here you can see is really more than one element. You've got a handful here. So if you wanted to make changes to this design and this template, in my opinion, it would be best to group these two sections before you make a bunch of changes. That way you can kind of move them independently, resize them, change the colors without having to worry about, selecting every single little element here. So how I would do that when I start design is I'll kind of, group them together into their respective categories. So first thing you want to do is start with the phone. You're going to want to select all the elements of the phone. As you can see here, we accidentally selected a few other things. So, use your favorite method of unselecting. We covered that in a previous lesson. I just use shift click there. But now you can see I have all the phone elements here selected. Now there's actually two ways to physically group your elements. Obviously, the first one being the group button here. Now, depending on when you're watching this, Canva's making changes all the time. I think there was a time where the grouping button was up here on the toolbar. Now they've placed it kind of above the elements you select, which is good. I like that. The other way is going to be using Control or Command G, and then that will group your elements for you as well. And then if you want to ungroup, obviously you can just click the ungroup button, or you can click Command Shift G, and that will also ungroup your elements. So now that we have them grouped here, you can just move this out of the way, and then we can select these text elements and then group. And let's actually do that again. Unselect that, group. And now you have two groups of elements separated. And now you can make changes, resize them, get them exactly where you want. Position, so that to the back. I don't know, for whatever reason, if you wanted it smaller, kind of like this. And now you can see it's a lot easier to work with as just two elements as opposed to, if you had, you want to move some of these and now you've got everything kind of out of place. And what's really cool is, let's say, so we have this grouped. Let's say we have all of these elements grouped, right? And now if you wanted to, let's say, okay, these two groups of elements are exactly where you wanted them. Now you could actually group these two groups of elements together. You could see now here you have a group and ungroup button. So if you click group again, now they're all one big grouping. You can move this wherever you want. If you have a bunch of other elements on your design here, it just really makes things a lot easier and more efficient, especially when you're working with complex designs. So I would highly recommend getting in the habit of grouping your elements together as much as possible. It's just going to save you a lot of time and headache in the long run. And I do want to show one more thing here. Now with the layers panel, you can actually, if depending on the design, it's really going to vary depending on your design. But if you want to group elements with the layers panel, you can click position, go to layers, and see here, things are kind of, it's a lot of elements here, so it's kind of hard to tell what is what. Let's just say you wanted to group these icons that are up here on the top of the phone, the little bell and Woodstock and whatnot. You can just select those. let's see the time. If we could find the time, that might be alien. Let's see here, date. Let's say we want to group these together. And even the foam, we'll group the foam together in the drop shadow. So now, it's a different way of selecting your elements and then grouping them together. Does the same thing, we can select these down here, but, depending on the design, that may be an easier way to group your elements as well. So yeah, that's all for this lesson on grouping. Thanks for watching.